Hey folks, so in today's video, I'm going to share with you the most common sales and influence mistakes that I've observed many people doing over the past 10 years of my business and my side hustle experiences, right? And why am I qualified to share this is number one, I started my journey in sales more than 10 years ago, right? I was just 18 years old by selling on the streets, right? Getting rejected hundreds and thousands of times. And since then, right, in terms of direct sales, I've closed more than $500,000 worth of sales and sold to more than 500 people around the world. And so these are the best lessons I've accumulated since, right? And not only will you learn the 21 most common sales and influence mistakes I've observed and how to overcome them, I'll share with you my exact one-page cheat sheet for high converting plus non-sleazy sales conversations. And number three, right, my complete list of sales influence audit questions to use on your own starting from today. Right? And why this is important and why I'm so excited to share with you this video is number one, right, you got to realize that selling is important in any area of business, right? You are always selling, whether it's your clients, your customers, your partners, your team members, your stakeholders, your collaborators, your affiliates, so on and so forth. You are always selling one way or another. Number two, if you can learn how to sell, you will never grow broke. And one of my mentors, earliest mentors, told me when I was 18, and the reason why I started selling on the streets back then with zero experience, because I learned that, right, it's what we call industry-proof skill, and it's a recession-proof skill, right? So you learn how to sell, you'll never go broke. Next one, selling goes beyond just promoting your products and services, right? Useful for negotiation, relationships in the workplace, so on and so forth. And number four, selling can open doors like nothing else ever can. But learn how to sell yourself, sell your product services, you can open up doors to give you a lot more opportunities for making more money and enjoying my life, right? And again, just in case you're wondering, oh, I'm not a good salesperson, I can't do this, right? Just want to share with you very quickly, which is I used to be a very heavy introvert. I used to hide in the toilet doing networking events, but I'm so nervous, right, to share people, right, and to sell people. I used to hate the idea, right? But after a lot of things I'm going to share with you today, allowed me, right, to become right, I would say it allows me to sell better, but more importantly, to influence and impact a lot more lives positively as well. So with that, let's get started. So number one, right, in terms of common sales influence mistakes, number one is really what I call the lack of understanding the other party's situation, right? So if you see my other videos where I thought my number one sales hack is always to think from the other party's point of view, right? Because if you don't even understand what they truly want, right, chances are you'll not be able to really identify what things that will really get them to buy or to listen to your idea. But number two, they might not even feel, right, them feeling that you don't understand them, right? It's really a reason for them to say no to you. So you do want to acknowledge, you do want to share, you do want to state the fact that you do understand the point of view, right? Restate it in your own words, right? But really making sure that they know that you understand and you're trying to empathize with how they feel and making sure you do it authentically. As what my mentor says, the best way, right, to get people to feel that you care about them is to actually care about them. Okay, so number two, not listening, right, and practicing empathy to the other party. So this is an extension of lesson number one, which is, right, when, right, you're not talking, right, you actually want to listen to hear what they're talking about. Try to sense where they're coming from, or even to ask clarification questions so you can understand them even better. Because if during a sales presentation or meeting or conversation, if all you're doing is trying to just sell, right, or just to tell the other party about your stuff, product, services, right, and you're not actually listening to what they say, chances are you are not able to close the sale, because you do need to address every single one of the concerns, right, thoughts, emotions of the other party before they're more likely to buy from you. Lesson number three, right, this is a very quick tactical one, which is, hey, have you built some credibility and proof for yourself? And even if you have credibility and proof, do you communicate that with the other party, right? So for example, right, as I'm doing a lot of my conversations, right, my sales conversation, my workshop conversations, sales, always add some case studies, right? I always want to share some of my past accomplishments that is related to them, right? And just giving them a bit of trust, right, based on the previous experiences I've had. So take note that this is not because I love to show off, right? A lot of my closest friends know that I'm a pretty private person, but I do understand that if I truly want to impact people's lives, I need them to buy into my ideas, right? And one of the best way for them to buy into ideas is to do share your past case studies, your past success stories. So you don't have to do this for 1 hour, right, to just share all your past case studies, right? But having a couple of minutes, a couple of sentences to share some of your past credibility or proof that you are good at what you do, right, can help you to sell a lot better. Okay, the next one is building rapport, right, with the other party, right, and connecting with the other party. So again, some people are like, Mark, but the people I sell to, they're very transactional, right? They don't like to talk about small talk all the time. And interestingly, right, sometimes you not doing small talk is a way of building rapport with the other party, right? So one thing I learned in the world of NLP, right, with Tony Robbins, right, or my mentor Stuart, right, is the power of what we call mirroring, right, to build rapport. So what we do it, right, is in the first couple of minutes when you meet, let's say for example, you meet someone totally new, right, you want to get a good sensing of how are they like, right? Are they very straight to the point, very direct, right? Do they like to talk and to talk a bit more casually, right? Do a bit of small talk first, right? Do they like to have fun, have conversation? Do they like to learn, right? So you want to kind of have a sense of how they are like communication style wise, and then you mirror, right? Or then you adapt your style, right, a little bit more to them, especially if you're trying to sell to the other party, right? So amazing influence people, right? Or people can sell very well, right? They can adapt to someone who's maybe a bit more quiet, a bit more shy, right? In one moment, right? But they're talking to someone else, they can be a bit more loud, a bit more obnoxious, right? A bit more fun, right? Another conversation. So again, one way to build rapport is to mirror, right? But more importantly, just connect, right, with the other party as well. Okay, so next thing, right? Not increasing your level of expertise to the other party. So difference of expertise and credibility. Credibility is you do want to share maybe your case studies, how many people I've worked with, how much have you generated, right? Or the people, right? What are some results of the people that work with you? So there's just some credibility, right? Expertise is to actually show that you're not just fluffing or bullcrapping, right? People, you are actually, what you call that? You're actually building a level of expertise by sharing people your insights, your opinions, your strategies, your skills, your insights that can really add value to someone else. It could be aha moments, it could be tactical tips, right? It could be your suggestions or advice or recommendations, right? Based on what the other party might need from you. So again, one thing we are in today's world, let's say 2025, we are in what we call a trust recession, right? So people are a lot more skeptical these days, right? People won't buy just from you just because you have a lot of case studies. They want to actually sense, right, that you're actually good at what you do. And how do you do it? Share your opinions, your insights, your strategies, your recommendations, and that's how you actually prove that you're someone worth buying from. Okay, so the next thing, right? Not getting those to trust you, your process and offer. So for anyone to buy from you, right, they need to trust about you as a person, right? Do they really feel that you have their best interest in mind, right? Do they believe that you are someone that they are worth buying from in the first place, right? But number two, they also have to trust your process. So let's say they like you as a person, they trust you as a person, but you're selling totally, right, something that's totally misaligned or totally against what they tend to want to use, right? They might not want to buy. So for example, let's say I have a lot of people who like me for who I am, right? They trust me, they trust that I have a best interest everyone in mind. But let's say if I was trying to sell a Muslim, right, halal food, non-halal food, right? Chances are they won't buy. So making sure that they trust your process, trusting your solution instead of just you will help a lot as well. And the third thing is your actual offer. Can they trust that your product, your service, right, specifically has what they need in terms of the benefits, the features, the pricing, right, the value for money portion can actually serve their goals. So they might even trust what you have to sell, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's meditation, whether it's spirituality. They might trust the process, but they might not trust the offer, right, the product, service, the package of what you're actually promoting. So making sure they get to trust you personally, your process, right, the process or the framework you're selling, and number three, the offer itself. Number 7, trying to get one big yes instead of many small yes. So this is just a base of very classic sales kind of influence strategy, right? Which is, hey, you want them to get to create what we call mini agreements, mini yeses before you go for the big yes of buying from you. Right? So for example, if I want someone to buy from me, right, I wouldn't just say, hey, would you like to spend $20,000 to buy my product services? I don't, right? I might ask small questions like, just want to check, number one, right, is making more money while enjoying life a priority for you right now? Number two, right, do you believe, right, that getting a coach or mentor can significantly accelerate your progress? Number three, right, do you believe that our program, right, if let's say money wasn't an option, would help you to make it more likely to achieve your goals, right? So by having all these small yeses, right, then it makes the bigger yes a lot easier because you got them to agree to the small commitments that will lead to the sale already. Okay, so getting them to have many small yeses. So remember when you do presentations or when you do conversations, right, when doing sales, don't just keep saying. You want them to agree with you, you want to ask them questions to engage them, right, so that they participate in the conversation as well. Next thing, which is a bit of extension of number 7, which is asking enough questions, right, and diagnosing the deeper challenge, right? So sometimes people give you very on the surface answers, very on the surface stuff, right, and then it might not give you the best amount of information or insights to be able to sell them whatever you want to promote, right? So what I do is to ask enough questions, elaborate deeper, don't just tolerate on the surface answers, but go deeper if possible as well. Next thing, not trying to find win-win solutions, right? So again, we're doing sales and offer. This is more for B2B, but B2C works as well, where you be flexible with your offer, right? Maybe you're doing, right, is a win-win thing, right? A lot of people, right, when they close a client, they're like, yes, I got them, right? I caught them, right? And that gives a very win-lose, right? Because on some level, you are kind of stating that if you buy from me, I am winning and you're losing. Right? But if you're going to win-win, right, you make sales so much easier, it doesn't become so sleazy, and you genuinely feel and believe in what you're doing, right? So maybe to try win-win solutions for your sales, and that's how you win in the long term. Next thing, being too attached to the outcome, right? So one of the best things I learned, right, when I used to be very drained from sales, right, where I didn't like it, where I told myself I never want to do a sales calls when I'm growing my business, right, to now where I'm enjoying myself even for my free calls, right, with people that haven't bought from me, is because I'm not attached to the outcome. So whether people buy from me or not, right, I'm not totally attached. Obviously, why I want them to buy from me? 100%, right? But even if they don't, I know I did my best, right? I did my best to help them, to impact them. And if they didn't buy, hey, it might sometimes be true that they shouldn't buy from me right now, right? And even if I feel that's the best time they say no, right? I emotionally detach myself, but I know that the more people I talk to, right, eventually people will come and say yes. All right. So that's one thing I talk about, being too attached. So this is more of an inner work kind of stuff, right? So talk to other people if you need to. But once you realize that you're not attached to the outcome, whether they say yes or no to you or not, sales becomes so much more easier in the long term. Okay, so next thing, right? Coming from a space of weakness and desperation. So I know it's a bit ironic, right? Because if you're starting out, you might come from a bit of a more desperate space or more active space, hopefully get your clients ASAP. And if you're more experienced, right? People will be like, oh yeah, it's obviously easy for you to not be too desperate, right, for the sale. So it's kind of a middle thing, right? Where yes, you want the person hopefully to buy from you, right? But if you come being too desperate or area of weakness, right, then people can sense it and they might say no from you. Even when people say yes to you, even if they sense, right, that you're being weak or you're being desperate, right, that's when they might want to take advantage of you, or the post-sales process might not be as optimized as you want. So there's a lot of inner work of realizing that yes, you want to work with people, you want to make more money, you want to create more impact for others, right? But never come from the space of weakness and desperation, and that's usually more inner work than changing something external as well. And this comes a lot to do with trusting yourself that you have what it takes to help people to create the results that they want. So another one, right? So not qualifying and disqualifying your ideal clients enough. So what we do, right, is before people come on the calls, we have forms, right? I have a team member to call some people, right, before the call itself, to make sure that the people that come for the one-to-one calls with me are actually qualified to be our ideal clients at the end of the day. Because if you're wasting hours every week or every month, right, talking to people who are not even qualified, you're wasting a lot of time with your energy and stuff. So having qualification processes in place, maybe through your content, right, your post-sales video, a pre-call by one of your team members, right, or even your form, right, allows you to disqualify people as well. Okay, next thing, not sharing your purpose and why. So the reason why I would like to share my purpose and why, again, it allows me to connect with people, right, who align more with my mission, my values, me as a person, right, but also allows people to give them a better idea of why you're doing this in the first place, right? Because most people wouldn't want to just work with you just because of money alone. They actually want to resonate with your mission, your vision, right, your purpose, your mission, your why, and that's why they'll buy from you. So sometimes stating one or two sentences can be very powerful as an introduction before you share the rest of your offer. Number 14, not creating enough evidence or credibility to support what you say, right? So again, this one is very similar to over here at number 3, right? But basically, some people just create one or two case studies, but if you're charging high amounts, right, the more case studies or the deeper, right, the evidence of the people you work with happens as well, right? So in terms of, it can be through a lot of testimonials. So for example, right, if I want to sell a high ticket program, right, I might just show them the quantity. So there's one, right? All the case study I have 4.8 stars after more than 120 people, right? If you want to go in depth, right, then I also have another page where I go in depth with case studies, explanations, videos, right, about what people might need from me as well. So videos, right, and case studies also. So again, it's again with the width, right, or it could be the depth as well. Okay, so next thing, trying to handle objections instead of obstacles. So this one of the latest sales lessons I learned, right, in the past 2 years, which is objections, right, happen after, right, you present the price of the offer. So the difference between objections and obstacles is obstacles happen before you present the price. And why is it so important to distinguish is when you actually present the price already, right, most people naturally defenses will just immediately go up. So what you're trying to do, right, is before you even present the price, right, address as many potential obstacles or challenges they might have that's preventing them from buying from you. So trying to extract it as much as possible before you present the price to make the sale even more likely to happen. So again, trying to have objections, right, instead of obstacles. That means talking to, right, making sure that you handle the obstacles, right, that happens before the price point, right? So addressing all of them and then presenting a price. So hopefully by then, right, you have as little objections as possible. So this is a huge mistake that people make. They expect objections, but I try to uncover the obstacles first, which happens before, right, the presentation of the price. Okay, so another thing, not being patient enough to process. So obviously, if you're starting out, right, you might get a bit new, right? You might be a bit stuck, right, for a long time. But that's because you're just trying to learn and trying to get better. So for example, right, when I sold on the streets, I probably got rejected by about 100, 220 people, right, before I got my first proper sale. So just being patient in the process and trusting yourself that you will get better, right? And as long as you focus on a lot of things I mentioned here, you can't help but to eventually succeed. So be patient, right, and making sure that you getting no's, right, every now and then is not a reflection of your self-worth or not a reflection of the fact that you will fail. It just needs to trust the process. Okay, next thing, being clear of your own goals and intention. So basically just means being clear, right, with what's your goal and intention, right? A lot of people, right, all these salespeople, is my goal and intention to get as much money from them, right? I like a different one, which drives me further, which is my goal intention is to help you to make the best decision for yourself. And because I believe in my product and service, I believe in what I can do to help people, right? So when I go and talk to people, my goal intention is not to sleazily, right, sell you, right? It's to make sure you make the best decision for yourself. So that's why a lot of people, even during the one-to-one call, I actually say, I don't think that buy program right now, maybe do it at a later time. Why not work on some of these things first before you come out? Okay. So number 18, not acknowledging what the other party is saying. So again, this is part of the listening. So you might be listening very well, but if you do not acknowledge what they're saying, chances are they might feel they're not heard or understood by you. So sometimes stating whatever they say in your own words to show that you are listening, right? Acknowledging what they say can help you a lot in making even more sales. Okay. Number 19, not highlighting a level of urgency, right, and answering why now. So this is a huge one, right, which is a lot of them might see the logical or emotional reasons to sign up, but if they don't have a reason to sign up right now, chances are a lot of them will procrastinate and they might not do it ever again. So answering why now or creating urgent can be a lot. It can be giving bonuses. You can be reminding them why they want to do it right now instead of 6 months, 12 months later. You can talk about the consequences of not taking action, right now as compared to next time. So again, highlighting some level of urgency will help a lot in getting those sales ASAP. Okay, next thing, confirming their level of commitment, right? So usually when I do my calls, I like to just confirm with clients, right, or prospects, right? Just want to check, is this something that's a priority for you right now? Or from a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you actually want to achieve these goals? Is anything less than 10, I'll ask why, right? That's the case, and that's also why. That is why we talk about obstacles versus objections. So anything less than 10, right, I'll go deeper, right? But I always ask them either why now, right, and also the confirm level of design commitment to sign up. Okay, and the next one, right, the last and not least, which is sharing features but not benefits. So when you're presenting the offer, remember, don't just to share the feature, right, which is, oh, you get 2 calls, you'll get 1 call with me, you'll get modules, right, you'll get this. So these are features, right? You could talk about the benefits, which is what exactly we'll receive, right? What is it in for them that they receive? So we have called, let's say we have about 4 to 5 calls every week for my clients, right? All optional, and you can ask questions anytime you want with live updates, live feedback, and everything is personalized to you, so you get the most amount of results in the shortest period of time. So that is an example of a benefit where a feature is just basically coaching calls with me. So again, sharing features but not benefits, huge thing that you want to stay on instead of just talking about what you have versus what can people receive, right, as benefits. How will life be different when they sign up with you? Okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about my sales and influence strategy, and this is what my entire 1-page cheat sheet to get people to say yes during my one-to-one calls. So number 1, right, I'm just going to state buzzwords again. This is this training itself can take days or weeks to master. I'm going to have your cheat sheet so you can just refer to it. You can print it out and use it for yourself as well. So number 1, build rapport, right? Outside of the day, right? Can you hear me, right? On Zoom, let's say it's on Zoom, right? How's your day, blah, 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 right? Build some rapport, and then immediately set some intention for the session, right? So for example, I might say something like, so the intention of this session, right, is for me to ask you a couple more questions to clarify some things you mentioned in the form, right? After that, I'll give some honest, direct feedback so they can get some clarity and awareness moving forward. And number 3, right, and then only if you feel that we are right fit, I can share more of the program. If not, no problem at all. So that's how I set my intention for the session. Ask what they would like to get out of the session, right? So I always start the first question, which is, so what will make today's call a useful, meaningful, successful one for you? All right, so just to kickstart the ball rolling and get them to remind themselves why they are here in this call in the first place, right? And so from there, I'll start clarifying their current situation, right? Maybe there's some things in the form they didn't mention, so for me to find out a bit more, it could be to dig into their challenges, their problems, their pain, right, their frustration. So you really just find out like exactly what's preventing them, or what do they feel is preventing them from achieving their goals, right? And the deeper I can go for, the more likely they'll buy, especially if I can diagnose their challenges and give them solutions to help them solve it through my offer. So this is the huge part where it's a lot of questioning, right? For me to really understand, not because I just want to sell them my stuff, but really for me to understand, can I help you based on the things that you are struggling with? Okay, and then next thing, right, is to go a bit deeper, right? Because sometimes I just want to find out even deeper, like why are they afraid, right? Why are they afraid of their problems, frustration, and pain? And I'll just ask them, what do you think will happen in 1 or 2 years if you don't change anything? So that adds a bit of urgency, but also allows them to give me a better idea of the situation before I go further. Okay, another quick tip is to find out what they might have done to overcome the problem and pain previously. So it gives you a lot of clues about what their biggest struggles are, right? So I will ask them, so very just curious, right? Have there been anything else you tried to overcome those problems above, right? And why do you think they not work, or why do you think they didn't work? Okay, so I'll go further. So after that, right, so this is the first phase of the question. After that, I'll just dig into their goals and priorities, right? So I ask them, what do they want, right, in the next 1 year, the next 3 to 5 years, right? And I might even ask, okay, how do you think life will be different for you down the road if you achieve whatever goals you mentioned, right? So this for me to just shift their mindset from fear, struggles to really about, okay, this is the future vision of my life, my business, right? And life is going to be amazing. I just want to remind them of what is it. After that, I'll assess their level of desire from scale of 1 to 10, identify what's missing to preventing them from getting to 1 to 10. So again, like I say, on comfort level commitment, right? So if anything less than a 10, all right, ask them, what do you think is missing, right? That if you can currently present, can move it closer to a 10 out of that, right? So this allows me to uncover some potential objections, right? Even before I present the price. So next thing is, after all of that, I'll ask them, is it okay if I provide you some honest and direct feedback? And if that's possible, right, then I'll give them suggestions, right, clarity, ideas, right, about what they can do, or areas, right, of what they're not addressing that could be very negative for them if they don't address it ASAP. Okay, so I'll point out what's missing and the consequences of not addressing it instead of just teaching only. So one of the biggest misconceptions I had is I could teach a lot even the first call, but usually the first exploratory call, right, even give them the best tactics in the world, most of them won't apply if they don't understand the consequences of not implementing those lessons. So I always want to go straight on into the insights, the consequences, what is missing, right, instead of telling them step by step through what I'm doing. Okay, I'll clarify after that. If they have any question or concerns, I might go deeper, clarify some of the things that they might have, right, and then from there, I'll then ask for permission to share my offer. So this entire thing takes about 30 to 40 minutes at least from a 1 hour conversation, because I'm going very deep, right, before I share my offer. Okay, so I'll share my permission. Hey, with that, I do feel it'll be a right fit, right? Just want to check, is it okay if I take about 5 to 10 minutes to share my offer? If not, no problem at all. Okay, so presenting offer. So again, we have slides. If you are clients, right, we have slides, templates you can use. But generally speaking, these are some of the key elements that you might want to have when presenting your offer, right? Exactly what you help people achieve and who's your target audience in the first place, right? What are some of the characteristics of the people you help and some of the characteristics of the people you do not help. Okay, so after that proof, right, share some case studies, your own successes, your transformation, supporting your claim, right, and then why you're doing this in the first place. Okay, after that, you're going to present how you help others achieve their goals. So what are the 3 main milestones or steps? So this gives a very clear idea of how you'll be helping them through 3 major stages or milestones. Gives them a lot more clarity in their head, right? And then I'll get very clear exactly what the party will get in the first place. And, right, this is a big bonus and a big thing that will help, which is how the other party can reduce potential risk and downside, whether it's with guarantees, right, whether it is a trial, right, whether it's a money back guarantee. So this is some sort of protection. Again, sometimes even if you don't have protection, you want to mention that, because I know for some industries, some spaces, some people, you saying there's no guarantee is actually a lot more effective than saying there is a guarantee, depending on people you're trying to target. So even mentioning you have no guarantee, right, can be quite powerful as well. Okay, and lastly, right, present different ways that they can work with you, so the different offers and tiers. Again, clients, we have a separate video, right? For everybody else, right, these are just the general areas of what you can copy. Okay, so after I present the packages, I don't present the price yet. Again, like I said, I'm trying to address all the potential objections before I present the price. So I ask if they have any questions, right? And let's say we clarify all of them, and then I'll ask if you can ask them questions. So what I do is I want to ask them, right, some questions first before I even present the price. So 3 questions. I ask them if there's any official reason, right, from stopping them from succeeding. Number 2, ask if they feel they are right fit, right, and it could benefit. So I ask them why, based on everything I'm talking about, do you feel they'll be a right fit for the program, right? So again, this allows me to address objections needed. Number 3, ask if they'll be willing to refer you or give a testimonial after they have achieved results. So this is what we call future pacing, which is, hey, only after you achieve results will be open to give us referrals. So this only helps you with referrals. It kind of gives you gives them the future pacing that they will get results. It's just a matter of when as well. Okay, so again, address obstacles or concerns, if any, based on whatever we talked about earlier, right? And then once confident, right, you then can present the pricing of different packages and ask them which one they feel they are more suitable for. So we ask them, hey, we have 3 tiers, we have 2 tiers, this and this. Which one are you more comfortable with, or which one do you feel is more suitable to? Okay, then ask them to pick, right? And then I'll say, okay, it's great. So right after you sign up, this is what will happen. I'll give them some onboarding details, onboarding strategies, right? And then I'll ask them for a small yes to register. Okay, so small yes, right, to register, just be, hey, can you register the form? Right? Or can you complete this form? Can you do the transfer of pay now right now? Right? Before I say onboarding details. So just get them to give a small yes and to register in the application form. Right? If they say yes, proceed registration. If they say no, then you can address the objection and go for the ask packet. Okay? If the above doesn't work, right, then you can offer your revised offer, or you can have a downsell ready, just in case for people who might not be ready yet. Okay, so this is a one super cheat sheet for one-to-one sales calls that I have, right? And then this is something you can use and model after yourself. Okay, so that's to continue, right? If they say no, I wish them well and ask for testimonial. So again, if they say no because I know I've given value, I can even ask for testimonials, right, to create even greater proof for the future. If they say yes and after they sign up, which is very important as well, right, I'll say, hey, I'll ask them, do you have any last questions? So always want to make sure they take care of them even after they sign up with you. So the time of biggest fear is right after the person pays the money, they're going to be asking, am I just being taken for a ride? Are you just scamming me? Right? So you want to make sure they are being heard by still asking, do you have any last questions for me before we end off this call? Right? And I always like to ask why they sign up. So if they sign up, I will just say, hey, just curious, you could have said no today. I'm just very curious, why did you sign up? Right? And restate whatever they mentioned. And after the call, you can congratulate them again for signing up and share what they can expect through a text or through a video or through a voice note, right? Just to congratulate them again, right? And reinforce their decision. Okay, so sales influence questions, right? So based on all of them I'm talking about, so let's say some of you already have some sales influence questions, right? I will look over the past 30 days or influence conversation and ask. Number one, what areas have you done well on based on everything I've talked about? Number two, which areas have the biggest areas of improvement, right? Number three, do you spend some time connecting and building rapport, right, with them in the first place, or just go straight to the point without building any connection? Number four, have you shared enough evidence, data, or research to back up your claims? Any case studies, any proof? Number five, do you understand the other party's situation, change, and goals? Do you truly understand them? All right, or is it just on the surface? Next one, do you confirm their level of desire and move it closer to a 10 out of 10? Okay, for you to check out. All right, next one, do you add actual value to the other party which they can benefit from? Do you actually add insights, opinions, whether they buy from you or not? Next one, do you create a sense of urgency for them to sign up? Next one, do you confirm whether they'll be a right fit for your offer? So always asking them, right, just want to check based on everything I've talked about so far, do you feel you'll be a right fit for whatever you have to provide? Okay, do you ask for many small yeses? Do you get many small yeses? Right? Do you present the offer in a clear and attractive manner? Right? Do you clarify if they understood what you're offering in the first place? Always ask them, do you have any questions about the offer? Do you prepare a revised, let's say, downsell or deposit offer in case they say no? Do you end the session nicely if they still say no? So if they say no, you're not supposed to have a black face and say, go away, right? You're a waste of my time, right? So do you end the session nicely, right? Do you end off the session by saying why they said yes if they did say yes? And lastly, do you send a post-session DM to the other party? All right, so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this entire training, right? Like I said, you can go and copy the sheet, right? You can use all the questions, right? Let us know if you have questions. Then, if you want to find out more about potentially working with us, right, with unlimited support, unlimited coaching, right, and of course a money back guarantee, right? You can always check it out in the links below. See ya.